I've curated the perfect makeup kit to help get you started or refresh your look. And the best part is I'm using 100% budget-friendly makeup products. So every makeup product in today's video is from an affordable beauty brand that you can pick up at your drugstore, at Target, or Ulta. Let's go. Before we get started, you guys, I have to make a pretty big announcement that I'm so excited to share. So we are coming up on our 5th anniversary with BK Beauty. Can you guys believe it? 5 years ago, we launched BK Beauty out of my living room. I can't believe it. It feels like it was yesterday in some ways, but then I look back on all we've accomplished over the last 5 years and I'm like, how has it been 5 years already? So I just want to personally thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for supporting me throughout these years, supporting the brand. You know, whether you've shot BK Beauty or you simply come and just watch and enjoy my content, your support is what allows us to do this and allows us to live our dreams. So thank you so much. We are celebrating with our anniversary sale. We do this every year and it's 20 to 35% off site-wide. So every product on our website will be discounted. When you purchase our bundle brush sets, like our Angie Hot and Flashy, any of our core bundles, or our Nikki LaRose bundle, you get up to like 35% off savings off the retail value of these products. So it's a really great time to stock up or try products that maybe have been on your wish list. All of our lashes designed by Risa Does Makeup are also on sale if you're gonna pick up a few and you like a little bit more natural glam. I love the Day Club lashes or the Martini half lashes. You cannot go wrong with either. Now, I know this video is all about drugstore products, but I want to talk about tools really quickly. I always get asked why I started with brushes or why BK Beauty is so focused on brushes. And well before I launched the brand, I would always talk and preach about, as a makeup artist, the right tools are so important to your application. I feel personally that they're more important than almost the products that you're using. And I think this video is the perfect video to demonstrate that because we're going to be using all affordable beauty brands. We're not using high-end luxury products from department stores. We are using very affordable products, but you are going to get a very flawless, professional, gorgeous look by having the right tools and applying them the right way. So in this video, I'll be talking not only about the products that I'm using, but also the brushes that I'm using and why I chose these brushes and how they work to give you these results. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm gonna have all the products listed and linked down below, as well as all the information for BK Beauty's anniversary sale. We just kicked it off and it's going through August 5th. So leave me all your questions down below. If you have questions about which brushes to buy or anything, let me know down below. Okay, let's get started. So for the purpose of this video, I really wanted it to be kind of the basics, like almost like a beginner starter kit or just a pared down starter kit. So if you wanna see a video with more of an elaborate look or products to just get a little bit more variety in your look, then comment down below and let me know and I'll add that to my list to produce next. Okay, so first we're gonna start with foundation, and I have 2 foundations that I wanted to share with you just for a little bit of variety depending on your preferences. I definitely have more drugstore foundations that I love in addition to these 2, but these 2 I feel are really great options for pretty much all skin types. So first we have the Maybelline Super Stay 24-hour skin tint. This is a really great option if you want very lightweight coverage and more natural kind of sheer coverage. It's lightweight and consistency. It's a skin tint, but I will say I feel like it provides more coverage than you would expect from a skin tint. The word tint, in my opinion, gives me this idea that I'm gonna have translucent coverage, and I actually get decent coverage with this for a skin tint. The one I'm actually gonna be applying today is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation, and this foundation is just absolutely beautiful. I love this foundation. I feel like it gives a very skin-like look, and who doesn't want a skin-like look, right? Who doesn't want their makeup to look like it's actually their skin? Now, I'm gonna list all the products down below. I'll also tag them in YouTube Shopping, of course, but the shade that I'm wearing is W5 Warm Medium. I will try and call out all the shades that I'm applying, but if for some reason I forget, you can find them in the description box below. 1 pump of this will do, you guys. You don't need a lot, and that should really be the case for most foundations. You know, just 1 solid pump should provide you a good base layer. I'm gonna use the BK Beauty 101 brush to apply this, and okay, this is our best-selling brush. Best-selling brush. This is everyone's favorite foundation brush. You guys probably see me use the 106 more often than I use the 101 in my videos, and that's just kind of a matter of preference. I really like to buff into the skin, but I chose the 101 for this particular video because this is the best foundation brush in my opinion for like starters, beginners. Because of the size, it will get your makeup done in no time at all. It's pretty large, so it has a lot of surface area coverage. And I mean, it just blends out your foundation in no time. This will give you full or natural coverage. All you really need to do is just apply the product directly to the brush. You can see that I've got good coverage all over the head of the brush. And I'm just bouncing this over the skin. And just like the name of this foundation, Super Blendable, it literally just blends into the skin. Like it just disappears. It's just lovely, really, really beautiful. I also find that this has really great staying power. So you apply it in the morning and it looks good all day long. It's really, really nice. It has a very subtle radiance to it, but it doesn't get shiny or greasy looking throughout the day. It just looks very, very lovely. Now, if you want to get more sheer coverage from this brush, instead of pressing like I'm doing now, I'm doing this to build coverage, but if you want to get more sheer coverage, use a more sweeping motion, kind of spreading and dragging the product across the face. Now, I tend to take longer than is needed just because I love the process of applying makeup, especially foundation. The time that it's taking me, you could probably get this done in half the time, but I really, really love to blend and sheer out. I also don't like to have excess product on the skin. The more makeup that you have on the face, the more opportunity you have to magnify texture, for it to transfer throughout the day, and just for it to, over the course of the day, look unflattering. So I really like to spend my time kind of going over the foundation, not necessarily applying more, but just going over it and bouncing my brush to really, really make sure I'm kind of absorbing any excess product. Okay, so now we have foundation on. It looks flawless, it looks natural, it gives great coverage. This is a wonderful, wonderful option for pretty much all skin types. If you have really excessively oily skin, you might prefer something a little bit more mattifying, but this is one that I would recommend to most people. It's absolutely lovely. And again, the skin tint is a great option too if you want a little lighter look and feel to the skin, even though this feels really light and natural. This is just a step down below that. So you can also use this as a mixing medium. Like if you want to mix this in with a mattifying foundation just to give the mattifying foundation a little bit of life, this is a great mixing medium. I love to mix this with others. Okay, you guys, next we're going to go in with concealer, and this actually wasn't such a hard decision for me when it came to picking the one concealer that's at an affordable price point that I absolutely love. Like it's probably my favorite in this price range, and it's the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Concealer, or Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. I'm sorry, I have it in 2 shades, but let me take a look and tell you which shade we're going to use today because one is definitely too light. Okay, so the shade Medium 85N is the shade we're going to use. Now, what I love about this concealer kind of mimics all the qualities and benefits that I talked about in this foundation. Gives really great coverage, but it looks very skin-like and very natural. It's very beautiful. This also comes in a foundation. They have a foundation that is lovely. I had that on my list to include in this video, but I couldn't find my bottle for some reason. It disappeared, so I need to pick another one of those up. Okay, to blend this out, we're going to use everyone's favorite concealer brush, the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A506. This brush is a viral brush. I feel like most new customers to BK Beauty come through BK Beauty because either of the A506 or the 101, but this has gone viral on TikTok. It's a very, very popular brush, and for good reason. So same thing as the 101. It actually was designed to mimic the shape of the 101. It's basically like a tiny little 101. So just like the 101, you just need to press it under the eye, and it's going to blend everything out for you really quickly. The shape of this is designed to be perfect, just a perfect fit for underneath the eye. It also has a little bit of a tapered point to the tip. It kind of curves, but it's slightly more pointed at the tip to allow you to get right here in the inner corner, and then even take it up here and kind of blend out on the lid in the inner corner. I like to take my concealer and kind of sweep it underneath my brow. I don't necessarily like to apply concealer under the brow. That is another hack that you will see makeup artists do to really make the brow pop and kind of carve it out. But again, I'm all about little bitty layers. I find when we put a lot of makeup on the skin, it might look great on camera or in a photo on Instagram, but if you come up close with a mirror and you step outside in that sunlight, you just see so much makeup on the skin. So my approach is always little bitty layers. Of course, there's a time and place, you know, when have a special event or a photo shoot, you know, I will layer the makeup up, but for every day, I find less is definitely more. And just like the foundation brush, when you want full coverage from this brush, just press, press, press. When you want to sheer and blend out, use the tip of it and just kind of sweep and sheer out. Ah, lovely. That color is perfect. It conceals, but obviously you can tell it's a little bit brighter, but I think it pairs really nicely with that foundation shade. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and move into brows. I feel like my brows are needing a little bit of love. Now, I found my favorite brow pencil. Actually, I have two from the drugstore. They're both by NYX. Now, this one is the micro brow pencil. It's a really kind of micro tip, very small. It's gonna be great at giving like hair-like strokes. And then there's also another one from NYX. I forget the exact name of it, maybe brow definer. I forget, but I'll link it down below. And it has more of that triangular tip. It's a little thicker and it's a waxy formula. Both of them are great. I use them both and I love them both. If you want to apply it more quickly, I would use the one that has a larger pencil head. This one is smaller, so it's gonna take a little bit more time, but this is gonna allow you to create hair-like strokes that you just can't get from a bigger brow pencil. And I really do like to create hair-like strokes. So I have very light pressure. I'm not pushing really hard on the skin. I'm almost just kind of flicking it up. And right here at the start of the brow, I'll actually flick it up to make it look like the hair is growing up. And then as I get further into the brow, then I'll change the motion of my strokes and create more of that brow shape. I also like to emphasize my arch here. Now keep in mind, your brows are gonna probably look and be very different than mine. My brow hair is really thin and it's kind of sparse, so I have to use two products in my brows. I like to use a pencil to create that shape and definition. And then I always go in with a brow gel to create volume in the brow so it looks like natural hair. Because I can draw in a brow like this, and obviously this is a big improvement from this, but the way to really make it look natural is to go in and add some volume. So I'm gonna go in with a brow fiber gel to add that. I feel like these NYX pencils are really great dupes to the Anastasia Beverly Hills versions of these. They're very, very similar, and in my opinion, they are just as good. Okay, perfect. Now, when it comes to brows, once you're done, take a quick look, make sure they're similar, but remember, brows are sisters. They're not twins, but they're not distant cousins either. So they should look similar, but don't get hung up on them being exactly the same, because we can go wrong with our brows real quickly if we over sculpt them or overdraw them. You can kind of step away and look at the big picture, and all of a sudden your brows are just too, what's the right word I'm looking for? Just too strong, too harsh. So if you do feel like they're a little dark or a little harsh, take the spoolie on the other side of your brow pencil, just kind of comb it through. This will just kind of spread and soften the product so it looks a little bit softer. Okay, now it's time to go in with the brow gel. And my favorite affordable brow gel, without a doubt, is the e.l.f. Brow Wow. And I have the shade Taupe. What I love about this is I love the wand. It's nice and tiny, so it's perfect for the brows. I love that this gives like volume. It has little fibers and it really does build up a brow. So if you really want to build up your brow, what I would do is I would take it and kind of back comb the hair, really work the product in, and then I would go and shape and kind of lay down the hair how I want it to lay. But doing that little extra step of back combing it is going to give more volume. I also like to use a slightly lighter shade of my brow gel than my brow pencil. So the brow pencil I use is a little darker than what I'm using in the brow gel. And again, that's just like that extra little step to soften the brow. Okay, perfect. Okay, lovely. We are good with brows. Let's go ahead and set this makeup because I feel like the foundation needs to be set. When it came to choosing a powder for this video, I went to the brand that I just know has excellent powder formulas, and that is Physicians Formula. So this is their multicolored pressed powder compact. And I believe this one was, it said translucent on it, but it also says multicolored on the bottom. It has a little poof down below so you can keep this in your purse and use it. I'm gonna use a big brush to apply this though, but this just has different shades, a little brighter shades, a little deeper shades. It's pretty sheer in pigment, so it's not going to alter the color of your foundation. It's just going to set everything, lock it, keep it in place. So for this part of the application, I'm going to use the BK Beauty 104. Now, what I love about this brush is it's a large powder brush, but it also has a tapered tip to it. So even though it's large and you can apply powder all over the face, it's got this little taper tip. So if you wanted to use this for blush or to go right underneath the eyes, you can as well. So it's large, but this shape at the tip gives a little more precision if you want to get in smaller areas of the face. Because it's large, it's not going to pick up a lot of product, which is exactly what I want when it comes to powder, okay? So again, always less is more, right? So it's going to pick up a nice little sheer layer and apply a nice little sheer layer, really giving you a lot of control to build up the product to how, heavy you want it. But for powder, I just want to softly set to lock in my foundation, slightly mattify. Do you see this shine on the forehead? This is just gonna slightly mattify it, but still it looks very skin-like. It doesn't look too dry. Now, when I powder, I'm gonna be using cream on the cheeks. I'm gonna use a cream bronzer and a cream blush. So I'm not powdering on the cheeks. I'm just kind of powdering around them. What I'm doing is I'm creating a little border around where those cream products are gonna go. I apply the powder here. I also apply it around my nose, and I apply it underneath my eyes. You really want to make sure you do lock in that concealer. If you want to go in and really powder under the eyes precisely, go in with a smaller brush. This is the BK Beauty 113, and this is great. I kind of compare this to like an upgrade to your velour puff. You know, your velour puff that has a little bit of a point to it. This is similar to that, but in a brush. So load up the side of the brush with product, and then just go in and press underneath the eyes. And not a bad idea to do this with your concealer, because concealer is the one product that can really crease and settle and move into fine lines depending on the formula that you're using. All concealers will do that, you guys, some more than others. Perfect. Okay, so we are fully set. The skin is looking so good right now. I'm really happy with the way it's looking. Let's go ahead and move on to bronzer. So no surprise, my favorite affordable bronzer of the moment is the Makeup Revolution Cream Bronzer. This formula is just perfect. It is so good. It's pretty pigmented, so be careful not to have too of a heavy hand. However, even if you over apply this product, it's so easy to blend out and fix. So it's very, very user friendly. I'm going to use the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N15 brush. I love this brush for so many things, particularly cream bronzer. I'm also going to use this for my blush. You could use this for powder if you want, although if you're going to use it on both cream products and powder products, I just get a backup because you don't want to be cleaning it in between use every single time. Okay, so I'm going to use the side of the brush, and I'm going to just kind of softly dab this into the product, and then we're going to go and just press it onto the skin. It just blends it out for you. It's the perfect size. It spreads the bronzer to like the exact areas that I want it to. Remember that the first place you put your brush is where you're going to deposit the most product, right? It makes sense. So I always like to start back here. Like when I pick up my product, I always like to start back here and then work my way into the face rather than starting right here on the face, applying too much product, and then I have this heavy amount of product to blend out. Always start back here, because if you over apply it right here, you can always sweep it into the hairline really nicely, which is an area that I always apply bronzer anyway. Oh my God, that is so beautiful. This product is so good. If you don't own this, get this, you will love it. Okay, so right there, I feel like I over applied, but all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna press, work it into the skin, and it's gonna blend out perfectly. Oh, this is such a good product. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit and we're gonna kind of sweep it right into the hairline. Doing this is just gonna highlight the center of the face a little bit, highlight the forehead, give a really beautiful cohesive look. I'm even gonna apply a little bit on the side of my nose, just a tiny bit. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that 113 brush that I used to apply powder. I'm just gonna kind of dry clean it. That means just sweeping it onto a little towel that I have here. And I'm going to kind of blend out the edges of that bronzer and set it. Since it has some of this powder on it, it's just kind of setting and creating a little border so that that bronzer doesn't slide down the nose and into the center of the face. Okay, we are loving this look. I love the skin, it looks so good. Okay, let's move on to blush. Now, so many great blush options from the drugstore, so many. And initially I grabbed the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush, which this is a lovely, lovely cream blush. Highly recommend, very, very affordable. But then when I was grabbing my bronzer, I found this Milani cream blush, and I think this is a newer product. It's the Cheek Kiss Cream Blush in the shade 110 Nude Kiss. So we're gonna use this one today just because, I don't know, I saw it, it got me excited, so I thought I'd add it to this video. But again, the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush is a wonderful cream blush option as well. We're gonna go back in and use the same N15 brush. All I'm gonna do again is dry clean it just to make sure that I don't have any excess bronzer on it. Not the worst thing in the world if you forget to do this step and you mix a little bronzer with your blush, but again, I want to minimize the amount of makeup that is on my skin, so I'm just removing any excess. Okay, for this, I'm gonna take the tip of the brush, and I'm really gonna concentrate just getting product on the tip so that I can really control where this blush goes, okay? If I were to use the whole side of this brush, not the worst thing in the world, but for my face shape, it might apply it in an area a little bit larger than I want. I could totally fix it, but again, I wanna start off small and then see how, you know, in areas I wanna apply this blush. So we're gonna just use the tip first. Okay, and you wanna smile. I like to use the apples of my cheek as a guide, and I kind of start at the back part of the apple of my cheek, and then I blend up. My blush placement has really had to change over the years. I used to be that girl that would put it all right here on the apple of my cheek. And you know what? I loved it. I still do. But As my face shape is changing and I'm getting a little bit older, I feel like placing it a little higher gives me a better lift. And what I love about this product is it's very buildable. So if you notice, I'm kind of going back into the product a lot. Keep in mind, I'm using very light pressure, so it doesn't necessarily have to take this long. You could go right in and grab a lot of product and blend it out, but I want to have a lot of control and get just the perfect amount of color. And I think we have got it now. All right, let's go to the other side. I know I mentioned this in the intro, but one of the reasons I started BK Beauty and started with brushes is because as a makeup artist, I always preached about the importance of having the right tools. You know, whether you are a really experienced makeup artist, if you don't have the right tools, you're very limited in what you can achieve. And on the other side of that, if you're brand new and a beginner and just getting started in makeup, if you have the right tools, they can do so much of the work for you. So while having the right product is important, I feel like having the right tools is more important. You know, you don't have to spend a lot of money on makeup to have a beautiful, flawless, professional look. You can achieve that with products from the drugstore if you have the right tools and you're applying them the right way. So that's why I start with brushes. Okay. We could go a little heavier with the blush, but I think I'm gonna leave it here. Moving along to eyes, we're gonna keep this look very simple, very easy. This is kind of a go-to look for me when I don't have a lot of time on my makeup, but I wanna be pulled and put together and look very polished. That is using a cream eyeshadow, and I love these Color Stay cream shadows from Revlon. I love the shade Caramel. 710 is my favorite shade. It is so beautiful. I also picked up this one yesterday, 730, and this is Praline. So I'm going to show you these two shades. So Praline is the lighter shade right here, and then Caramel is the beautiful kind of medium bronzy shade. So really any skin tone can use both of these shades. If you're really fair, Praline will be a really nice option for you because it's going to pull a little bit warmer on you and kind of give you that same warm wash of color like the Caramel is going to do on me. Okay, the brush I'm going to use is the BK Beauty 205. Now, I always recommend this brush to someone who's like, I don't wear a lot of eye makeup. I wear like one shade on my eye, or I'm just getting started. What's a good one eyeshadow brush to use? And I always recommend the 205. So the 205 is your friend for just kind of all over, simple, one and done shadow looks. What makes this brush so great, I'm going to show you. Okay, so it's a flat brush. You can use the side to pick up shadow and product. Then you can use this curved, fluffy tip to blend it out in the crease. What I like to do is I like to just turn the brush upside down. So I'm putting the tip right there and kind of blend it out in the crease. Keep in mind, this is not going to give you a really like cut, defined crease. If you're doing this real elaborate look, you're going to need additional brushes. But this one's really great for just those simple, everyday looks where you have one shadow, a shadow that's kind of close to your skin color, not so dark or contrasting to your skin color. This will do the job. I'm going to use the side of the brush and I'm going to really load up this product. And then I'm going to kind of go on the back of my hand to get any excess off. And we are just going to sweep this onto the eye, pack it on. This brush does a great job of picking up and packing on, especially when you use the side of it. Do you just see that color? It is so beautiful. It's like this soft kind of patina bronze. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to take that edge of the brush and I'm just going to diffuse that product so that it fades up into the crease. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. This color is stunning. It kind of reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. The formula is different. This one's a little more compact. That one's a little more moussey. That actually feels nicer, but it looks and pays off the same. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of work that back and forth just to fade out into the crease. Now at this step, you could go and add a darker shadow into the crease for some definition in the crease. We're not going to do that today, but you know, that's certainly something you can do to just elevate and bump this up a little bit more. To line the eyes, I love the NYX retractable eyeliner pencils. I have one in the shade, I think this one's called Bronze. Yes, Bronze. And then I have the shade Brown. Very simple and straightforward names. And they're both, you know, neutral brown. Bronze has a little bit of shimmer to it. It's a little bit lighter. Brown is deeper, a little more rich, and it's more of a matte liner. Let me show you these two shades. So the darker one is brown at the top, and then the lower one is bronze. I personally love bronze. It's going to give me the definition I want, but again, it's a little bit softer. So we're going to go and line the upper lash line with bronze. I always like to start in the outer corner of the eye and kind of work my way in. Now I do a nice chunky line, and I don't know if you can zoom in here, but it is messy. It's not perfect, okay? Because what I'm going to do this little trick. It's my favorite trick. I apply the liner, Not too worried about it looking perfect. Then I go in with the N12 brush, the one that Nikki LaRose designed. This is my favorite smudging brush. And before this liner has time to dry, I just kind of work it into the lash line and smudge it out. This gives a really beautiful, soft, sultry look to the liner. I think a smudged out liner is just so flattering, more so than a harsh, real defined line on the eye. It's so beautiful. You still get that definition, but it's just a little bit softer. Now the key to this trick is doing one eye at a time, because if you go and you apply the liner on both eyes, and then go back to try and smudge it, what you're doing is you're allowing too much time for this liner to dry. The beauty of this product is that it's creamy, so you can spread it, but once it dries, it does not budge, it stays in place. And while that's a good thing, it's not a good thing if you're trying to smudge it and smoke it out. So don't give it time to dry if you're gonna do that little trick. What I also love about this trick is you don't have to be perfect with your eyeliner. I think eyeliner is the one area that we have the most anxiety about because we're like, oh my gosh, if I mess it up, then the makeup is ruined. Well, with this trick, you don't have to worry about that because it can be messy because you're gonna go in and fix it with a smudging brush. Perfect. Oh, okay. Lovely. It's just so good. So, so good. Okay. Next, we're going to line the lower lash line, but we're only gonna line like the outer half. And we're gonna do the same technique. We're going to use the smudging brush. The difference though here is instead of layering a ton of product like I did on the upper lash line, I'm not gonna layer a ton down here. I just want a little bit. And I'm just gonna smoke this out until I get the level of softness that I want, which we're right there. Okay, let's go in and do the other side. Now, if you do this and you feel like it's too harsh or it's too dark down there, I'm gonna show you a little trick. Now, I think this looks nice, it's soft, but I definitely could even soften this a little bit more. So if you do that and you feel like, oh, it's just a little too dark for me, go back in with your cream shadow. I'm using the same one I used on my lid, and we're gonna use the same N12 brush. We're gonna load this up on either side, and then we're just gonna do a little layer on top of that liner. Because this shadow is lighter than the liner, and because it has a little shimmer to it, it reflects light, making this area look softer and lighter. Perfect. Oh, so lovely. Looking good. Things are looking good, you guys. Super easy. Very, very easy. Anyone can do this. Don't get overwhelmed or nervous about doing your makeup. It's so much fun, and it can be really easy if you have the right products and the right tools. Okay, so the eyes are pretty much done. We just need to apply a little mascara. Now, the mascara that I'm going to be using today is the e.l.f. Lash and Roll Mascara. This mascara is such a great mascara for lengthening. I also love that the wand has a slight little curve to it. This really allows you to work the product into the lashes and lift them up. I also love how tiny the teeth are on this wand, especially the top teeth are really tiny and the bottom are a little bit longer. This allows you to really coat and grab each lash and pull the mascara through the hair. I personally love wands like this because they're a little less messy than like the traditional mascara ones. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place the curve right at the base of my lashes, kind of rest and close my eye on it, wiggle back and forth, and then pull up. Now what I'm doing here when I'm closing my eyes and wiggling this wand back and forth is I'm really getting as much product off the wand and onto the lashes as possible. You want to do that at the base versus the tips of the lashes because then you end up with like a clumpy look if you get them close to the tip. So do it at the base, and that way you can pull it through and give a fanned out natural lash look. I also love this mascara because you can really build it and it doesn't get clumpy. Okay, let's go in and add another coat. I really like to take my time with my lashes. I used to wear lash extensions. If you guys have been with me that long when I used to have the lash extensions, drop a comment down below. I don't think I'll ever go back to lash extensions. I loved them when I had them, but now that I don't have them, I just love applying mascara. I also feel like you can really appreciate the eyeshadow looks a little bit more without the lashes because the lashes kind of got a little heavy. I think if I didn't do YouTube videos though, lashes would be so nice because you just wake up and you've got beautiful full long lashes. It's also, I think lash extensions are great too if you're someone that doesn't want to wear a lot of eye makeup. I also love this wand because you can kind of turn it and get right there in the inner corner to spread and fan out the lashes. And because the wand is so thin and skinny, it's easy to do that without making a mess. Perfect. Okay, and this is a good formula for the lower lashes too. I like to apply a little mascara on the lower lashes, but not too much. I just want a tiny bit of definition, but I don't want a buildup of mascara there because it just can kind of look a little spidery, but also too in the summertime, you know, your skin heats up, it produces natural oil. If you have concealer there, all of that can start to heat up and all of a sudden you have mascara running down your face. Okay, you guys, we are almost done. Let's move on to lips. So let's move on to lips. The lip liner that we're gonna be using today is the NYX lip liner. This is the shade Peekaboo Neutral. It's a very neutral lip pencil. It'll work with your like peachy pinks, with your peach lipsticks, with your pink, with your rosy shades, anything that's neutral and kind of looks like your natural lip color, this one's gonna work great with. You can even use this for bold colors. That's actually one of my favorite hack when I'm wearing like a bold red lip or a bold color. I rarely do, but when I do, I actually like to line them with a neutral lip pencil and then apply the bold color on top. So this will really work for all lip shades. And I am going to, it's gonna be hard to talk and do this well. So let me just tell you what I'm gonna do. I always start on the outer corner of my lips and I sketch and kind of work the pencil back and forth in the same area and then move on. I don't like to do a really thin line around the lips because when your lip color wears off, then you have this like really obvious liner around your lips. I like to have the liner kind of fade into the lip. So we're gonna go back and forth, and then move to the other side. Perfect. Okay, so now we have some definition to the lips. We're gonna go in and add our lip color. I chose the Revlon Color Stay Limitless Matte Lipsticks. Now, what I wanted to do for this video is I wanted to give you a good matte lip option, and then I wanted to give you a gloss to add on top if you want a shine or a glossy lip look. Now, if you're someone that just really despises matte or liquid lipsticks, totally get it, they're not for everybody, then you would substitute this with like maybe more of like a creamy kind of traditional lipstick. But the idea is to have a clear gloss that you can add on top of more of a mattified look. It doesn't have to be a fully matte lipstick or a liquid lipstick. It can be something that's more of a cream, but the idea is to have a gloss and then kind of like a more satin or matte lip color. So this is the shade 05 Strut, and I really do like these liquid lip options. They're very lightweight, they're very opaque, so you don't need to apply a lot. I also love the wand. It's got a little slant here, so it just fits perfectly on the lip. It's also got a pointed tip, so you can really just get right in the edge of the lip. You can even use this as a lip liner if you want to skip lip liner. In fact, you can even just do one layer on the lower lip, press together, and I feel like you have enough color. You don't even need to apply it all over the lips. When you're working with liquid lipsticks, I do recommend less is more. Don't layer this and do several layers because as it dries, that's when you're gonna end up with like the cracking or just like the over application of lip product on the lip. So keep it as thin as possible. So in this case, I just applied it on the bottom lip, pressed together, and I've got color everywhere I need it. The gloss that I chose is the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. I love this formula. It's so good. I have it in so many shades. I think this is a great dupe to the Fenty lip glosses. They have a little color, but they're pretty sheer. So even if you pick one that has some more color than this one is just ice. I wanted to pick one that was kind of colorless just so it would work with anything. But if you pick one that has color, they're still pretty sheer. So you can wear them by themselves if you want more of a sheer glossy look, or you can pair them on top of a lipstick. And they will alter the color of your lipstick, but not cover it completely, if you know what I mean. But for starters, for beginning, go with something more transparent and clear that'll work with any lip color. And there you go. Now you have shine. You've got a little bit more volume to the lips. This formula feels so nice. It smells good. I love it. So that wraps up today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please leave your drugstore recommendations and favorite products down in the comments below. Share the love. And if you enjoy drugstore videos, I'm going to link one right here that I think you'll enjoy next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.